Spartan here, and as always, before I get started off with the video, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support that you guys have been offering on the channel. It really does mean a lot to know that you guys have been supporting me through this 3-year journey. Man, when I say that, it's like I've been a YouTuber for 3 years already, man, and man, it's crazy. But anyways, like I said, man, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support that you guys have been offering on the channel. We are almost at 4,000 views. We are not that far away. We're gonna get there. But anyways, basically this is just gonna be a quick video. Today this will probably be my last video, at least until, Sunday afternoon or Monday, or whatever, because I have my military duties to do, so, yeah. Basically, I'm gonna be discussing, rather a weapon needs to be buffed, rather it needs to be nerfed, or rather it should be kept the same, alright? This is just talking about all the weapons, within Black Ops 4 as of right now, alright? I'm gonna be including the DLC weapons in here, so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm not trying to really spend a whole lot of time on this, so let's get started with the assault rifles first. The ICR is in a really good place. I don't think it should be buffed or nerfed. I think it should be kept the same. It's that middle of the road assault rifle, good recoil, pretty good damage profile. It's got some range on it. So yeah, it should be kept the way it is. The Rampart, oh man, dude, the Rampart should stay the same way. Like, if you nerf it, then it's just not gonna be able to compete with a lot of other weapons in this game. Especially with its kind of, slower fire rate that it has. Yeah, your damage is still gonna be good, but in those close range gunfights or those medium range gunfights, you're gonna lose to the KN, you're gonna lose to the Vapor, you're gonna lose to the Maddox, you know what I'm saying? In terms of the, assault rifle class. So there's that. Moving on to the KN, I think the KN is in a good place. Obviously the stats are pretty good, the damage is pretty good on it. A lot of these weapons, depending on what attachments you put on them, dude, they're really good. So rapid fire is really good with the KN. It helps out with that fire rate. It drops your time to kill. Yeah, there's that. Alright, it should be kept the same, alright? The Vapor should be kept the same. I know you guys are like, when are you gonna, talk about them, being buffed, being nerfed? Listen, the weapon balancing is pretty good for the assault rifle class. I mean, I can't complain. Whenever you throw high caliber 1 and high caliber 2 and, all of that on the weapons, obviously it's gonna, buff your damage a little bit, but I'm just talking about base, stats or whatever, and the Vapor is pretty good. Alright, so it doesn't need a buff and it doesn't need a nerf. The Maddox, however, does need a nerf. This thing is an absolute damn laser beam. Like, you can just murder people across the map with this thing. Like, not only is the fire rate, I think the fire rate is the fastest out of the assault rifle class. I'm pretty sure it is. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section or whatever. But yeah, the fire rate is the fastest in the assault rifle class. You're gonna dominate people up close. But even at a longer range, you're still gonna dominate people with this thing. So I think it should get a little bit of a nerf. Maybe add more recoil to it. Maybe, reduce the amount of bullets it takes to kill, whatever you need to do. Just, make it to where it's not as powerful at those longer ranges, or at least make it to where it has more recoil, alright? And moving on to our first DLC weapon, we have the SWAT. Personally, I think the SWAT is in a really good place. For me, it really performs really well. You know, it should remain the same. There should be no buff. There should be no nerf to it. You know, so 35 rounds in the mag is pretty good. The damage is pretty good. Everything about this weapon is pretty solid overall, so it should remain the same. Moving on to the SMGs, the GKS, or I'm sorry, the MX9 personally needs to stay the same. It's got a pretty good fire rate on it. The damage is pretty good. It's that middle of the class, you know, or SMG or whatever. You know, it's like your, you know, UMP 45. It's a jack of all trades, you know. So there's that. Moving on to the GKS, I think the GKS needs a buff in terms of its damage. Maybe dropping the amount of bullets it takes to kill. You know, maybe, you know, by 1 or 2 bullets, maybe. I don't know if that will make it overpowered, considering the fact that when you throw both grip 1 and 2 on this thing, it's virtually like the ICR. But other than that, the damage just needs to be buffed. Alright, moving on to the Spitfire. Oh man, as much as I love using this thing, man, it just needs a nerf. Like, you know, the wildfire mod on this thing is absolutely ridiculous. Yes, I know the recoil is gonna be, you know, pretty hard to handle. However, you just melt people so fast with this thing, obviously because of the fast fire rate. But if you're not gonna drop the fire rate, or drop the amount of bullets, you know, it takes to kill somebody, add more recoil to it. I know that sounds kind of cliche that it already has a fast fire rate or whatever, but you know, it would make it a little bit more, you know, balanced at those longer ranges. I've actually mapped people with this weapon, so it needs a little bit of a nerf. Sorry. The Cordite needs a little bit of a buff. Now, I hated on this weapon so much, but when I prestiged and, you know, got to use the default class setup, I don't know if it was the competition because of the level I got set back to after prestiging or whatever, or it was just the Cordite. I was doing pretty good with it. But whenever I create my own class setup, I cannot do a damn thing with it. So, rather it be, you know, reducing the amount of bullets it takes to kill somebody, it just needs a buff in terms of that. Moving on to the SOG, you guys know I was a big hater of the SOG for a very long time, especially when the game came out. People were running around like damn Usain Bolt all over the place, you know, high off of G Fuel, sniffing Adderall, you know, whatever they were doing, little kids, you know, running around with the dual wield SOGs, you know. I was hating on it for a while, but after just using it for myself and actually becoming better at the game, I love this thing, but I just think it needs a nerf when it comes to the dual wield operator mod. Maybe you shouldn't be able to reload as fast. Maybe you should drop the reload speed or whatever. Maybe you drop the movement speed because you move like damn Usain Bolt at a track meet or something like that. But whatever you gotta do, just you know, reduce its effectiveness in the dual wield state. Alright, and moving on to our last SMG, which is the Daemon. Now the Daemon is it's probably one of the fastest firing SMGs in the game, simply because it is you know, a 3-round burst weapon. And I don't know, man, I think it should remain the same. I mean, it's pretty good. You have that fast fire rate, so you know, effectively that's gonna reduce the time to kill with it. Although it doesn't have the highest damage, if you raise the damage, then it's just gonna be too overpowered. Then you're gonna have to drop the fire rate, add recoil. So I think it should remain the same. It's the Daemon's in a pretty good spot. Alright, moving on to the tactical rifles. Now, just for the, you know, sake of today's video, you guys, I'm just gonna do the primaries. If you guys want to see me do the secondaries or whatever, if this video gets more than 5 views, I will do that whenever I get back on Sunday. Alright, so watch the video and we'll see where it goes. Alright, moving on to the ABR 223. Now, the ABR, like I said, man, I've had a lot of hatred towards this weapon, especially, you know, on my way to Dark Matter. which, I mean, I'm already done with, you know, the ARs and the SMGs and the tactical rifles, the LMGs, or whatever. But the ABR just, I don't know, man. It's okay when you load it down with attachments, but we're not talking about loading it down with attachments. We're talking about the base ABR, and it needs a buff. Alright, I don't know if it just, you know, needs to drop the recoil on it, because this thing, if you don't have a foregrip on it, the recoil is absolutely ridiculous. So maybe reducing the recoil on it would do it, you know, some justice or whatever, because the damage is pretty good, fire rate's pretty good, but just reduce the recoil. And as for the swordfish, this is probably one of my favorite weapons to use with a suppressor on it, simply because it's pretty good, especially in hardcore mode. You know, it just needs to remain the same. It's pretty good. You know, it's got pretty good damage. The fire rate's pretty good on it. It's pretty accurate. It's actually a freaking laser beam, so it should remain the same like it is. Now, this is probably where things get a little controversial. All right, the Titan. Oh my god, dude. If you guys haven't seen my I love the Titan video, or it was something similar to that, y'all go check it out. It's on the channel or whatever, where I was just going off with the Titan. Dude, listen, I'm not gonna try and spend too much time talking about this weapon, because you guys already know about this thing. People love to hate it, but they love to use it, and I'm one of those guys. Alright, it needs a nerf. Let me just go ahead and say it. Alright, rather it's, you know, increasing the recoil, rather it's dropping the fire rate, or whatever you gotta do to it, this thing is competitive at close ranges with some of the ARs and even the Hades, which is a faster fire weapon, or faster firing weapon than the Titan is. So, you know, adding some more recoil, or, you know, dropping the fire rate would do it some good, or whatever else. So there's that. Alright, moving on to the Hades. This is probably one of my favorite LMGs in Call of Duty history. I'm sorry, you guys, I have not slept since legitimately 6 o'clock yesterday, and it's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon as I'm recording this video, so please forgive me. But yeah, the Hades, it's in a pretty good place right now. It doesn't need to have any changes to it. It's really good with the crossbar operator mod. You guys have seen me put up many gameplays with this thing, and it's just one of those weapons that I can rely on to get the job done. So the Hades is in a really good place right now, so it doesn't need a buff or a nerf. Moving on, we have the VKM. Man, this thing right here, I had so much fun leveling up this thing, and, you know, at the start of the game, I loved using it. But ever since then, you know, I moved towards the Titan and the Hades more, just because they're more competitive at closer ranges with their faster firing rates. But if you're someone who loves to stay back and camp a little, the VKM is your baby, alright? This thing is in a really good place. If you increase the fire rate, it's going to be God tier. I mean, it's already pretty good, but if you make this thing faster firing than it already is, then chances are it's going to be probably one of the most overpowered weapons in the game, almost overshadowing the Titan. Alright, so I just think it needs to remain the same way that it is. Alright, moving on to our last class of weapons. This is where I'm going to get a little bit more, you know, nitpicky or whatever. The Paladin needs a nerf. Let me just go ahead and say it straight up, alright? My boy Thunder, he uploads, just clips of him getting, taken out by the Paladin. And it's actually pretty crazy because he lands, multiple successive shots on the guy that he's shooting at. And he still just gets one-hitted by this sniper right here. So, although it is a 50 caliber sniper, and 50 caliber snipers, ballistic-wise, will freaking take a leg off, take an arm off, hell, even rip your body in half, right? But we're talking about Call of Duty, where gunfights are supposed to be at least balanced or whatever. This thing just needs a nerf. Drop the base damage, drop the aim down sight speed, whatever you gotta do to make this thing competitive, at least, or at least less competitive with the 3 other snipers. And moving on to our next sniper, the Outlaw, needs a buff, hands down. I hated using this weapon because I had to go to hardcore, and I hate having to go to hardcore because I don't have my map. Call me a pussy all you want, whatever, but hey, I rely off my map. Intel wins wars. Shout out to my boy Recon. But you know, the Outlaw just needs a buff, man. I don't know what you got to do with it, you know, drop the fire rate or whatever, because it is the fastest. Well, I don't know, it's between the Outlaw and the SDM. I think the SDM has it beat just because the SDM is semi-automatic and this one's like a bolt, you know, like a bolt cylinder type of sniper rifle or whatever. But it just needs, like, you know, a damage buff or whatever, and it would be pretty good, you know. Upper chest, maybe, you know, widen out that one-hit kill range or whatever. Whatever you got to do, man, just make it more competitive with all the other snipers. All right. The SDM needs a buff, dude. I don't have to explain to you guys how garbage this thing is, man. I mean, yeah, the fire rate is good on it, don't get me wrong or whatever, and the range is pretty excellent on it or whatever, but the damage on this thing, man, listen, 3 to 4 shots to kill just makes no sense. Like, if you're aiming upper chest, you should only need roughly 2 to 3 shots, when this thing maybe takes 4 shots to kill, maybe even 5 if you're taking fire or whatever. So just, you know, adding you know, more, I guess, longevity to the one-hit kill ranges on this weapon, or the, you know, faster time to kill ranges on this weapon, it would do it wonders. Alright, maybe at the cost of nerfing its fire rate. Whatever you gotta do, this thing needs a buff. And last but not least, the Koshka. The Koshka is in a really good place right now. Only thing I can say that needs a buff on it is maybe increasing the fire rate by a little bit more or whatever. But other than that, man, the Koshka's in a really good place. I actually had fun using it or whatever. Without high caliber, it's not that good though. Yeah, you can get one-hit kills, but you're gonna have to aim, you know, like collarbone, like I'm talking about shoulder and up, to get a one-hit kill. Like, if you hit him in the center of the chest, man, you're not really gonna get a kill, you know, 100% of the time. So, there's that, alright? So, I hope you guys enjoyed this rather subjective episode or whatever. If you guys want to see me do more in-depth videos where I talk about rather things need a buff or a nerf, let me know in the comment section below. But anyways, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to click that like button and also subscribe for more Crazy Spartan content. Turn on post notifications so that way you guys don't miss a video when I upload. And as always, go check out Cousin Malik's channel, SGX Blackman. He does really good quality content on Need for Speed. So go check him out. Tell him your boy Crazy Spartan sent you. And like I said, there will be a personal vlog going up maybe Saturday. Well, actually not Saturday, because I'll be coming back from the field and I don't know if I'll have the time to do it or whatever. Well, maybe Sunday on the way home, depending on when I get home or whatever. I may upload a personal vlog explaining how my PT test went and how the future of my military career is going to go. But anyways, I will check you guys out in the next one. And as always, take care of you guys. Peace out.